on over the last week, two little bugs, I think, that I'd like us to take a real quick look at if we can this morning. One should be a lot easier to recreate than the other one. So the looks like CRM isn't even enabled, so I'm going to have to enable it. So the first one relates to CRM. And it looks like there could be, I don't know if it is with contacts or organizations, but a weird bug. So I'm just going to try. Creating a contact, and then I'm going to try searching. Okay, so that seems to be working. If it works in organizations as well, then I have no idea why it didn't work for me this morning, and I will completely ignore it. Let's just try that. Oops, helps if you spell it right. Weird. I will ignore that then. For some reason, that isn't working on our internal system.
Did you make sure it was spelled correctly?
Let me unshare my screen. Oh, actually, it's in a different window, so you won't see it anyway. I'm fairly sure I've spelled it correctly, but you never know. All right, contacts. Working fine. Organizations. Working fine. I wonder if there was caching. That's what it would have been, wouldn't it? Bloody Apollo cache. I reckon I created it, didn't navigate off the page and back. And,
that might be, the case.
Yeah, that'll be it. That'll be exactly it. So again, it is still a little bug, but I'm not stressed about it. So the other issue is that when you're in here, so again, I might need to cheat and use the Rails console to create some groups. If you do a search in here, and you've got more.
Sorry, I was just thinking about the Apollo cache. Even if you create a new entry on the cache, shouldn't the cache get updated automatically?
So the problem is the way that the caching works. So let me just try and understand this. So the caching, I think, would work based on here's the GraphQL query, and here's the response from that query. And obviously, it doesn't know when you've created a new thing that would change the response of that query. So if what does work is if you've got like a contact or an organization and you use a mutation to update, like edit that contact, that organization, that whatever the object is, it updates your local Apollo cache. Yeah. But if you create something new or delete something, it doesn't understand like which caches need to be updated.
Yes. So I was comparing it to what I did on the time tracking logs on the Issuable.
Yeah.
From the UI, I create a new time entry, and the log should get updated. Yeah, that's get updated automatically, but that's because the report is tied to the Issuable. So the Issuable itself is getting updated, and that updates the list.
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, there are ways to sort of work around it, fix it, etc. But yeah. So yeah, this breaks when pagination, when you're using the paging. So I'm going to try and use the Rails console to quickly create a bunch of subgroups. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. So development. So I want to.
Do you want to share that screen to show the rest of the people
how I'm gonna bulk create? Yeah, why not? Yeah, it's a trick that I use fairly regularly. So it's worth me sharing. Also, as I think you know, I've recently issued to encourage and recommend that we do more seed data. Now there is a way of running the seed script to seed the database with like millions of groups and users and that, if you really want to do some heavy lifting sort of testing, but I don't in this instance. But I would definitely consider updating the standard seed script to at least seed at least 20 projects or 20 groups or something within the same hierarchy, because one of the bugs that an issue that I raised years ago was that the same problem existed on the main dashboard, that if you did a search for something and then started paging, that the search got lost and you just started paging through. So it's pretty fundamental issue. But yeah, so from the Rails console, I think I can do something like factory.
Wait, let me change the layout, because otherwise we're gonna graphics.
Okay, yeah. How about this one?
Okay, better.
Yes. It's not amazing, but it should just about. I could make this window smaller so we can see a bit better as well. So if we create a group, and I think all I want to do is tell it parent ID to be 31, and it's not create that I want, forgive me. So we use FactoryBot in our specs, our R specs, our Ruby specs, to really quickly and easily create objects, whether they're merge requests or issues or groups or projects or whatever. So I'm just kind of leveraging that same thing to create essentially real objects. I'm going to say I want to create 30 of them in there, and hopefully I'll use some sensible defaults and won't explode. I see rollbacks. Hopefully that's just what's that? Sorry.
Duplicate key on CI namespace mirrors. Yay.
Yeah, so hopefully I will change what I'm sharing in a second, but hopefully it's worked and created quite a few, but failed somewhere. It's not actually looking good. It doesn't appear to have created anything.
Did it roll back everything?
Possibly. Let's try being a little bit more. There we go.
Yeah, but that's not 1, 2, 3, 25 to 44. Yeah, some did get an error, but yeah.
It's still not visible in the front end for some reason. So there's obviously something when FactoryBot is creating a group. It's obviously not.
They're private by default.
I'm logged in. Oh no, they're there. I don't know if I just needed to. There was some caching or something going on. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's a good tip anyway. FactoryBot.create list for creating lots of objects quickly and easily without having to go through the UI and do a very boring, repetitive process. I quite often drop a note on my merge request as well to say to recreate. So if we end up raising a merge request to fix this bug, then hopefully I will drop a note on that merge request to say to recreate this bug, run these commands in the Rails console, and to validate that this actually fixes it, etc. So hopefully you can now see. Yeah, and I'm going to try searching for the word group. Hopefully that returns multiple pages. When I go on to page 2, on to page 3, okay, typical. Okay, so that makes it look like it is working, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So both the bugs that I thought were bugs don't appear. So again, I'm just going to look on my internal instance quickly to see what it was doing, if that makes sense. See if I can recreate that problem. Again, weird if I can't. May have been something kooky. Right, yeah, I can recreate it. So let me just try.
Is it filtering groups, subgroups, or projects?
It's a bit of both, actually. So let me create a subgroup that doesn't match. And then inside this, I'm going to create a project just to confuse us.
Oh, called group, huh?
Yes, exactly. You know where I'm going.
So it should find the project, but not the subgroup.
Yeah, well, it kind of has to display the subgroup, though, in order to display the project, if that makes sense. Yeah, so, okay, the problem is, and I'm going to create one more thing. So I think it's a UX-y type bug, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It don't match either. So what should happen, so I'm going to go into the first result. So let's go into group 11.
Nice. A project called group.
Wow, we already did that a minute ago. But so what should happen when you search for group? So that's even weirder. What's it sorted by name? So if I in descending order, so if I create a group, is it ascending or descending? No, it's ascending. So if I create a group called a group, that will appear at the top. Oh no, bollocks, I didn't want it to be called that. Excuse my language.
No, a group is fine.
No, because that will come back. I want something that no match. Oh, but a no match. How confusing can you get? Group. It'll all become clear in a minute, hopefully, if it actually behaves as how it is locally. What I love is, dare I break it and risk breaking it, but GDK is working lovely for a change. No, it's very weird. I know much. So when I'm searching in my instance, it expands the group by default. So if you look, I'm searching for group. So you see this, you think, well, why would it bring this back?
Yeah.
Because that's not a match, right? But then you expand it and you see, okay, well, that's why it's bringing it back. So when I search on my local instance, it expands this by default. So you can kind of see that the match is this record, not this record. But then when I go to the next page, it doesn't then expand. I mean, this is even more confusing.
Why is it on the second page?
Yeah, something's definitely broken there, right?
Oh, maybe the projects inside the subgroups that are matching are always at the end.
I see what you're saying. So it's finding groups that match and putting them at the top, and then projects that match and putting them at the bottom.
And I guess it's paginating only on the groups and not on the projects inside subgroups.
Yes. Okay, good. So
there
is a bug.
Another reproduction for this. I
Awesome.
just tested on GitLab.com and searched the GitLab org group for cluster.
Yeah.
And if you switch to the second page, you don't have the pagination anymore.
Yeah, perfect. So I don't know whether we should have or not, but maybe our first thing that we should have done would be to try and find an existing issue. So what we're going to say, group pagination. It's going to return hundreds of results, isn't it?
Maybe more.
4, 5. Can we do search within titles? Is that going to work?
Oh yeah, that's the really nice new thing that I noticed they added.
That has a bug.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember, was that you, Nicholas, that raised that, or?
I don't remember me doing anything with this.
No, I think it it was definitely on Discord that somebody raised that, it's not working as expected. There's a good example. I think it was. Let me try and do it now. How do I duplicate? If you do pages deploy. It was really nice how fast GitLab.com was working over Christmas and New Year.
Yeah. Oh.
I can never remember which of these are fast and which ones are the slow ones, but yeah, this is clearly causing a timeout, which sucks.
Too many issues.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Well, you're also on the root group, so yeah, there's definitely too many.
Yeah, but it's only GitLab org, isn't it? Okay, let's try going into.
That's not inside groups.
There you go. So clearly that first result hasn't got pages deploy in the title.
Oh yeah, but that includes page
Deployment. Yeah, okay. So maybe that's why. Yeah, okay. So did you think we just need to put quotes around it or something? Right, the quotes get removed. I don't know if there's a way to do a search and say, don't mess with my search.
I don't know.
In which case, I think that's probably a special case, right? That semicolon or colon or whatever it is just getting treated a bit weirdly. So it's not completely broken. Anyway, we digress. Clusters. So yeah, so here we're finding. So this is a group that's matched, right? Is that a group? It is a group, yeah. And then that's a subgroup. And on page 2, I mean, yeah, so that's not filtered at all, right? Neither of those.
Yeah, even infrastructure and distribution. And GitLab services, yeah, manage and integration groups, yeah.
So that is the behavior that I was seeing locally. I think that was just completely getting lost. So I stupidly closed it, didn't I? The window that I had open.
Just asking because we are over it. Do you have the pagination still on the second page?
Oddly, I do, but I suspect it might be to do with the fact that I've got because I'm a developer on the project or a maintainer on the group or project, that I've got access to some private groups. So I think that the number of results that I'm seeing is probably greater than the number of results that you're seeing. Still bringing back way too many.
Add pagination to group filter drop down.
So better separation between subgroups and projects. Sorting doesn't work with sorting. I don't think this is our problem, right? Oh, that's a nice bug as well. 114 results, but actually there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Listing of shared projects group should be paginated. Oh, that's the the other tab.
Oh, okay, yeah. Don't think this is it, is it?
No, this is not. I guess that's a backend stuff. So maybe we could try filter by that.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, we're only getting these 8 back, right? So we don't want to restrict this list even smaller. We want it to be bigger, if anything.
Yeah.
Should I remove that type? Table is type. Whoops. So I'm going to. I might try and look for merge. I don't know. I definitely raised this previously for like dashboard. So like this, for example, the same problem, and it was really challenging. Or was it this one? Either one of these, and it was very challenging because of the way that the query works. And I think it was a bit chicken and egg. I'm trying to think how to explain it, because it returns 20. I think it's 20 anyway. But there was an issue where you kind of couldn't do one thing without the other thing. So you almost needed to iterate or evaluate, or whatever the word is, enumerate all of the results before you could actually implement the paging and the other bits and pieces.
Yeah, and that's also quite bad in terms of actually making the pagination, because every time you should perform the full query recursively to actually skip the, for example, if you're on the second page, skip the first 20 items.
Yes. So I don't remember exactly how it works, but for example, if I'm doing a project search, and I search for, is this a bad idea or not? GitLab. No, because it doesn't group them on it. It must have been the groups, because this just shows 20 projects, no problem at all, right?
Yeah.
But then on groups, I still can't remember.
Yeah, this
why it was a problem. Sorry, because so this shows 20 groups, I guess, but more projects.
Well, you could try to collapse. Yeah.
Oh no. So yeah, I think this was the problem. Depending on the number of projects within the groups and subgroups, needs to determine how many. Yeah, it's all a bit of a mess. I'm going to be crazy and go issues. I'm going to do author is. I'm going to find
Oh, well. Hmm.
What should I close?
I go.
Group search page and bug. I think this is probably it. Interested, when was it? 2019, November. So group seems to work and brings back groups containing the word GitLab or with a description containing the word GitLab. If I try and move to the second page, they no longer have anything to do with GitLab. Pagination controls are also missing. So that's sort of like what you're seeing, Nicholas. So let's see what happened. So it was closed via this merge request. Oh, and I actually was the one to fix it. Okay. Oh, so this was quite a straightforward one, just where the parameter was being pulled incorrectly. So,
but there was another issue that you created and was closed.
yes, there was. That link isn't overly helpful.
Yeah.
I guess it's because somebody tried to recreate it and couldn't, as opposed to they specifically saw that a merge request had been merged that fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a feeling I did some investigation. I gave up as it was too complicated. Yeah.
This is quite. I don't really even know how to solve it, actually.
I guess the first thing we should look at is what's actually. So, is this GraphQL? Is this, I don't know what's.
Last time I checked, it was all Haml.
That looks like, interestingly,
Oh,
it's async, right?
yeah.
But I don't know whether it's using Vue or not. We can find out quite quickly.
Might be using Vue, but not GraphQL.
Yes, that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's.
Oh, yeah. The Haml part was only on the title.
So it's using. Oh, that's. Do we call that an internal API? Is that the right term? Because it's not the REST API. It's not the GraphQL API. I think we call these internal APIs where it's just hitting a normal kind of controller, but with the JSON.
Yeah, I actually don't fully understand those. I much prefer GraphQL.
Filter groups or name ask. So it's definitely passing both those things in. When we then move to page 2, again, it's definitely passing both those things. So it's definitely passing the stuff in. So it's the back end, it's the controller or the finder or the service or whatever's behind there. So I haven't actually got any records.
Actually, when you expand, that's performing another query.
Oh yeah, to get the yeah. So
yeah, because for example on mismatch, oh, that's another bug. On mismatch, it got mismatch because it contains the subgroup group, but when expanding mismatch, it's returning both group and I don't match either.
yeah, well, that's what I'm also trying to. I don't know if I created either a project or a group, so I just want to create a group that has no matches. I want to create a project that doesn't match as well, because at one point I think we were suggesting that maybe that the filtering's like being ignored entirely on when you move to page 2, 3, etc. So we've now got groups that match, projects within groups that match, and groups that don't match and don't have projects, and projects that match and projects that don't. So this is matching because of that. This is matching because of that. But like you say, it shouldn't really return this when it's expanded.
Yeah.
It's then returning these again on every page. But it's not returning the project that I just created or the group that I created. So it does look like the filtering is sort of, at least it's filtering something.
Yeah, I think
It's not being ignored entirely. But
yeah,
it's just...
I guess that the filter is getting applied and the pagination also, but after the pagination has happened, the subgroups are getting appended.
Yeah.
Kind of. Do you remember the time? Was it on the for the time tracking report a couple of weeks ago that the pagination was made before actually applying the filter?
Yeah. Well, I think that's yeah. Well, let's dive into some code, I guess. See if we end up down a rabbit hole or not.
We usually do, so I'm not really hopeful.
Absolutely. But I feel like I need easing in anyway, Mark. So, easing in after 3 weeks of very little code, etc. So let's have a look. So we think we're probably don't need to do any thinking because we should be able to figure out just about.
Was it children.json?
Yeah, children JSON, which is in groups. So I guess it'll be the group controller probably. So called children or something. Children. None of those particularly look like it.
Well, the group descendant finder might be used by the service.
Yeah, it's just finding how it gets from the controller. Children.json. There's a children controller. Within groups. Makes sense, right?
Yep.
So index, param sort parent. Yeah, so this looks like we're only passing the parent ID through when we expand a subgroup, which is the thing you sort of remarked on, that we're showing all of the subgroups, which I'm actually on the fence how I feel about that sort of behavior. The weird thing is, I'm sure when I was looking internally before, it was automatically expanding these to show the project or the subgroup as to the reason why it was returning the parent.
Yeah, maybe that's fine as it is, because if you are getting a subgroup as a result matching the filter, you can expand that, and the projects might not match the filter, and you wouldn't see anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. Because if the group, so you almost want different behavior, right? If the group matches the filter, you want it to return all of the subgroup. Yeah, that is tricky. But what I'm definitely confused. What I'm sure the behavior on my local instance is that the group, if the search result, that if it's found a match inside like a group, not the group name, but the subgroup name or the project name, that it automatically expanded that group. So it's weird that we're not seeing that, but let's not worry too much. So parent is that, so set up children.
Expand hierarchy if filter is present.
So group descendants from subgroups and projects. So there's no notes here about this is broken for these reasons. This is possibly something to do with what we're trying to understand. I need to reread it a few times to try and. Ancestors. Okay, let's take the next.
I guess that has to do with what you were mentioning about counting these subgroups or projects inside subgroups that otherwise you wouldn't be able to paginate correctly.
So let's try and understand how it. So.
Okay, yeah, because that's paginate and using the maximal amount from the page and the actual all required elements. I guess that's the descendants.
So where is it? Oh, here it does it. So where does that get applied? That's what I'm confused by. So execute starts with children.
Yeah.
Children
Is down below.
Keep scrolling past it. Gets paginated up. Paginate. So multiple collections. It's not passing. It's not passing in the filter, is it?
Nope. Doesn't look like it.
So how and when does that? So
Direct groups.
So I'm guessing it's doing that. All required.
See, that's the thing that I think that's happening, because if you go up the top,
yeah,
that's appending. It's getting all the direct children, and then the subgroups, and then the subprojects. And I guess children is getting paginated, and ancestors of filtered subgroups and filtered projects, they're always
paginated at this point, right? So it's only returning 20, 20, 20.
Yeah, but that's paginating the array on the last line of that method.
I think I've created a bit of a bad recreation here because of the order in which, so let me just read. So we're basically multiple collection paginator. To be honest, if we don't understand what on earth this does, then we're calling paginate. We're not calling paginate yet, are we? So actually, oh, so we're actually passing in subgroups and projects.
Yes.
We're not calling paginate.
Children is calling paginate.
Yeah, okay.
So the first call to children is calling paginate, and then it's appending the other thing. But paginate array doesn't make sense at the end.
Because I guess the problem is the children is returning ancestors of filtered subgroups. Okay, I think tell me if I'm getting this wrong. So this is going to return. I don't get why this is not. It's not. It should be getting filtered straight away, shouldn't it? Because the way that I am interpreting it is that what this code sounds like it should be. It's been written with this intention: is that children will get all groups, subgroups, or projects that match the filter. But then this bit, I think, will then say, but because we've got this project and this subgroup, we also need its parent subgroups and projects. Otherwise, we can't render the hierarchy.
Okay.
So I think this is the bit that's just getting the right records back. So subgroups. Yeah, here we go. Groups equals if params filter, subgroups matching filter. Yeah, so we are applying the filter. Otherwise, direct child groups. And then projects with root. Project.
Yeah, that's filtered.
Okay. So we are doing vaguely the right thing.
So it's getting the groups and they are filtered, the projects and they are filtered.
Yeah. And then what else was happening on? And it should, so yeah, let's have another look at how this should, right, but we're not calling paginate yet.
Yeah.
So it hasn't paginated them. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's building a complete list.
So we're then adding in ancestors of filtered subgroups, ancestors of groups.
Okay, because that's finding all the groups and projects that match, and then they're building the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's making sense.
Yes.
It's then these bits, I guess, that we then need to paginate. Right, so we've already declared that. All required elements size.
One thing that comes to mind, and I don't know if that's a Ruby thing, the paginator method that does at paginator pipe equal. is it telling Ruby to create paginator only if it's nil?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because otherwise it was creating the paginator every time.
Yeah. No, my understanding is this is sort of like a
singleton.
It's caching, but caching in for just a single request, if that makes sense, or per instance almost. So if you spin up an instance of this finder, you can call paginator 10 times and it'll only execute this once. Afterwards, it'll just grab it from this instance variable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of the magic. Yeah, we think it's broken somewhere in here, right? We think that this is probably doing the right thing.
Yeah, the strange bit is that children is paginated,
but it's not as such, is it? Oh no, it is. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I guess they're applying pagination twice. I wonder if we could skip the first pagination.
Yeah, I wonder that as well. So if we were to get rid of children,
be right back.
Yep. You still loitering, Nicholas? Do you think we're sort of barking up the right tree, or?
I honestly don't know.
I'm back.
All right. Well, I've clearly broken it completely at the moment, so let's just have a look. What? Define method size. It's interesting. Sorry, I realise you can't see because I'm only sharing one screen, but yeah, I'm getting an error 500 now hitting that endpoint, and it's moaning that size is an undefined method for collection paginator. So what did I have in here before? Paginator.total count. I don't know what's more interesting to see right now. It's just reloading at the moment.
If it reloads.
I'm more confident this time. I think it's going to be completely bust, but I think it's at least going to load. I need to just do a quick kill and restart. Yeah, let me just.
Oh.
I think that was probably because it might not be actually. I issued the kill command, but I think that came back before I issued. I don't know if you've seen any of my notes, Marco, but I've started defaulting. I don't tend to use GDK stop anymore.
Yeah, I actually saw that and I wanted to ask you, but I forgot. Why do you use kill instead of stop?
Essentially, it boils down to I had a problem or number of problems a while ago, probably whilst pairing with you, and after going crazy, pulling my hair out, not understanding what the hell was going on, why, etc., like reaching out for help, etc. One of the recommendations was to try GDK kill, and that fixed it. So now I just always default to kill instead of stop. I think it's just a bit more of a brutal way of killing any running processes related to GDK.
Yeah, I actually have to resort to GDK kill when I do binding.pry shell.
Gotcha.
And sometimes that once I'm done debugging, that breaks everything. So, and even a GDK restart doesn't work because the rails won't start. So I have to kill it and restart it.
Gotcha. Undefined method count. This is really confusing. We're not calling count, are we?
No, that's the same as before. At line 44.
I guess I thought the backtrace would show us more specifically where it was calling count, right? Like if it was inside, or is it because this Kaminari is it a gem that we're using, so it's compiled, or
collection paginator? Yeah, that's calling count on the paginator, but I don't know where.
I guess, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe total count, it's calling count inside it.
Okay, let's
Oh, that might be because the paginator has more than one collection, because that's a multi-collection paginator, and that might be
right.
called.
Total count. It's a multi-collection paginator. Let me swap back screens again.
Oh, you removed the call to the paginate method inside children, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that was preparing some stuff needed by the paginator.
Right. So let me just have a look. So we could total count. So do we think here we could call children?
We are not seeing. Oh, wait. Okay.
Oh, no.
Now we are seeing.
I'm sorry, that was really slow to paginator.paginate. It was doing before in here. Are there any params? Oh yeah, params page.
Paginator, not tior.
Paginator. Params page. Oh, thank you.
Maybe switch them before calling total count.
Yeah, you might be right. I'll just run it like this, but I've already hit reload.
Okay. Because I guess you were getting the error on the call to total count, so
Oh, well, I was getting it on. It was on this line.
now line 44 on the
Yeah.
log you were seeing before was the actual call to total count.
Well, no, it was. This was line 44. I've just inserted a new line, so it was. Yeah, it was this, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, weirdly, I think it's just hanging again. Okay, yeah. So now we're getting same thing, undefined method count. So yeah, let's try flipping them around. Yeah, it seems weird. Well, it probably is all right. Because it's a special paginator, I guess it knows the difference between total count and count, right? One is how many in this page, and one is how many in total.
I guess so. I wonder.
Still breaking. Still saying undefined method count for multiple collection paginator.
But I wonder if the change that we made will actually make a difference, because we are setting the children directly to required elements. We are appending the ancestors,
Yeah.
but we are calling paginate on the paginator, and
Yeah, not on.
I, I think that's not needed. But the thing is, how do we get the total count?
It's almost like we maybe don't need a multi-collection paginator anymore.
Yeah, that's only one collection.
Yeah, because we've.
But even before, it was only one collection. Oh no, because you're that's building the multi collection paginator, passing the projects and the groups.
Yeah, I've lost what we're trying to achieve, why we're going down this route, and what because so why we haven't done anything major. I'm tempted to just do a restore quickly to remind myself what was it doing. Yeah, we haven't done anything major. Yeah? You're right if I just restore
Yeah,
under
yeah.
our changes quickly. So before we were paginating when we called children. But we now know that children paginator was calling subgroup. Yes, we now know that the filter is being applied to. But before I think I missed that the filter was being applied to these things, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it should be getting, as far as I can see, this is an unlimited number of subgroups.
That should contain every subgroup and every project matching the filter.
Yeah, and then the multi-collection then takes care of the pagination. So it's more probably us looking at what on earth this does.
Yeah, I also wonder what that per page means, because we are appending even more things later on.
I guess, yeah, so per page is like, do you want 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 per page? And then this is which page do you then want?
Oh, okay, right.
So maybe
So that's I don't really understand the call to that paginate array, because going down to what we just said, we are getting all the direct children, the groups and projects matching the filter, and we are paginating on those, and then we are append on each page the ancestors.
but we're only appending the ancestors of the, let me check, maybe that is the bug, ancestors of filtered subgroups. Ancestors of subgroups. You're right, yes, the subgroups hasn't been paginated.
Yeah.
Great. So actually we need to,
so I mean the I think that the pagination should happen after that we include the ancestors inside the elements.
yeah, but then there's a whole load of unnecessary work for it to go and get the ancestors of all the things that we're not interested in.
Yeah.
I think it's the ordering's okay. It's just how can we get this to only look at the projects and the subgroups after they've been paginated? So can we access?
Oh, maybe I know how. Ancestors of filtered subgroups, that's calling subgroups.
Yeah.
But if we provide the subgroups from the children,
yeah. So let's put a breakpoint maybe in here. Try and explode prior shell, shall we? Prior shell.
Also, unfortunately, I'm almost at my time.
No worries. We've done an hour, so really appreciate your time as always.
Oh, no worries. We can always get back to this later on if you want to, because I'm down the deep hole, the hole.
I definitely like to figure it out and understand it, etc. But as is always the case. Right. So children.
Okay.
So they're all groups at the moment. I was hoping that children.
Well, no, that's right.
Yeah, we've already called paginate. So I'm actually more interested in paginator.
First collection are all the groups and subgroups matching the. Oh, okay, that's the pages. And then we have the projects. If you go to, if you call paginator dot page 2, no 1, because I don't know if it's 0 based or not, we should see both groups and projects.
Suon subgroup Suon dot first collection. So do we want paginator dot first collection dot paginate? That all we want? Or
No, only paginator dot paginate and try now just to check if on the second page of the paginator we are getting a mix of the groups and projects matching the filter on the console.
So you mean if we do dot paginate?
Let me change
So
that again. I
that.
can't see. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, we should see only. Okay.
Yeah, so page 3 returns.
Okay.
Project.
So
So it's all the groups that match first, I guess, then project.
yeah, well, I guess that's depending on the sort order. But the important bit is that the paginator has only the elements matching the filter.
So this is actually wrong then. Do you think we should be doing like that, but then saying like
We should
only dot select?
no, we could actually use the same method that it was using before. The I don't remember. Yeah, the ancestors of filtered subgroups, but change that method to not use the subgroups, but provide the groups to search for, basically.
Yeah. Ancestors of filtered subgroups. So ancestors of groups, subgroups. We want. Oh God, this is just breaking my head.
We could try.
So it paginator dot paginate.
Yeah.
Page. And it's how do we then? We only want the groups, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be dot filter or dot select or something like that. Where
Oh, I don't know that.
hey, we've got it here, haven't we? So paginate dot free gives us all those, and if I do a dot select object dot is a group. Nothing. Thought that was a way. Oh, P. O is a. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So
Up above.
yes, from select. So
Yes, and same thing on the
project, which is this one.
Ooh. Oh yeah, because that's well, no, we should be good. We could change projects to paginator.paginate and same thing, but checking for project.
So this here.
Yeah, the same thing that we did for the groups. Only change the filter to filter by project and not by group.
Yeah, but so ancestors of groups. So you think we've already got?
No, up above on the ancestors of all filtered. Yeah,
So
that one.
you think that just doing
Maybe
that.
only changing the first projects and leaving the were not. because I don't know if that.
Okay. Doesn't do where because it's an array, not a. So
Can we put the where not before?
No, but we should be able to do namespace.
O dot namespace.
So yeah, good shout. O dot namespace.
Now we're missing. No, we're not missing anything.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, that should have worked if you change the params to get the third page. We should get some results.
Okay. Hard code.
Yes.
They're all sub. So were there any match? So there was no projects in the main group that match. I think I need to change.
Remember.
I think might need to fudge that. Right. So what was it? Did I say we need to do exit to safely continue?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was. But... So I was doing continue, and that always seemed to be like causing stuff to explode. But
yeah, I always use continue, and I never tried to use exit actually. So maybe that's the reason why I have to keep using GDK kill.
Surprise, surprise, it's exploded. Undefined method except for array. I think we're returning an array instead of an active record association or something like that. So might have to screw. So where is it happening? 1, 2. Yeah. So here.
Oh, I see.
I don't know whether to group.where.
I guess the ancestors for filtered project might be working because that's then using a group.where, getting the actual objects. The problem, I guess, it's the ancestors of filtered subgroups that we're passing the filtered array.
Yes. Yes. So let me paginate. Yeah. So you're right. This yeah, we're doing a where. So here we should actually do the paginate root. So should we do the same thing here? Group.where.
We can at least try, because I guess that's going to make multiple queries.
Yeah, I mean this is going to be a pretty horrendous solution, right? But we can. So what I do,
we have to select the namespace ID.
Does that work? Maybe it does. But, so where ID is that dot blah 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 dot select. I don't think you could do a select on. But maybe you can. I thought we'd have to do, I don't know, like a pluck, maybe.
I don't know. That goes way beyond my Ruby understanding.
I was already at that point when you started with the paginators.
Let's see if it works. Then I have to go.
Yeah. So it's still another error. This time, wrong number of arguments given one expected 0 for what though? Group where I do. Not sure which one. It's saying somewhere here we've given. I think it's probably the select.
Oh, we're yeah.
So
Are we missing some parentheses? No.
Yeah, I think we might be. No, I don't know actually.
No,
No, we're not, are we? So to try pluck instead of select. Maybe I should do another PowerShell. Easier when you've got the debugger attached, isn't it, to see what's
yeah. I guess I won't be able to see if it works. I have to go.
No worries at all. Thanks for your time as always, Marco. I'll probably keep recording for another couple of minutes and see if
if you want to, I'm available later if you want to have another go.
I'd probably be quite tight. I've got 60 to-dos to catch up on this morning, so but we'll see how we get on. Have a good day,
Okay.
Marco. Catch you later.
Bye, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well that's. But then let's just see if I actually pass it in page 3. Hopefully it was just the pluck that's. So why should that be returning something? Group.where ID. Paginated up. So let's just do this bit first.
Maybe you want to plug ID instead of namespace ID?
I think that might be right, actually, because we don't want. These are all the ancestor, the parent of all these subgroups is the group that we're already in. So I don't think we need to load. I think if we want to load another one, I think what I need to do is create a scenario where we've got a subgroup that doesn't match. And inside that subgroup, another subgroup that does match. Then I think we'll actually find we get none for the first page. I don't really know how the sorting. No, wait a minute. No, we haven't. No, we're not applying any knots here, are we? So actually, I think I was being silly. So group where ID. So let's break this down. So that gets us all the groups. And dot pluck. Yeah, you were right. They've not got a namespace ID for some reason. Is the group ID the same as the namespace ID? I think it is. Solution. I used the wrong command. That's what Marco was just saying. If you do a quit or a continue or something instead of exit, I don't know, it seems to kill like Ruby or Rack or Rails or something.
So, it sounds so funny, giving him some seconds to die.
DK start. I'll definitely jump off in a minute, but I felt like we're on a bit of a roll. I mean, a better approach may have been, and I guess once I feel like we've got it vaguely working, would be to write a failing test to try and sort of recreate this scenario and all the weird permutations that we want to try and be able to handle. And then like, it'll be easier to debug rather than having to try and create this weird hierarchy of groups and projects and keep hitting the front end to sort of see if it's fixed and working, if we can write a spec to do it.
Yep, because the spec would also validate it inside the pipeline, not just
exactly. Yeah.
Manual testing.
So I'm still getting a wrong number of arguments given. So this is after calling ancestors of filtered projects.select. So ancestors of filtered projects. So I think it's where we're doing this. I think it's changing that to a pluck as well, hopefully. We're at 1 hour 22, so I'm going to wait till 3 more minutes to 1 hour 25, and then I'll call it a day. Just hope we've got something that compiles at the end of it.
Sounds like a plan.
Right, the browser is trying to load. Okay, I'm going to change my screen. And see if we think if it's better or worse or the same or so. Okay, we've got filter group. It's showing all the groups that matches. This one actually contains a project called group. I think that's a project, right? And on the second page, we get loads more groups. Third page. Yes, it's expanded them by default. No matchy group, a no match group, mismatch group, group. That's looking quite good. I suspect group 11 might come back twice because it comes back here because it's a match itself, and it comes back here because it's got a project inside it that matches. But otherwise, that kind of looks a bit fixed, don't you think?
At least better than at the beginning.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll do for me then. I will. Let's just have a look what we've actually ended up doing with 30 seconds to spare. I like to look at what we've actually ended up with, if you know what I mean, in terms of a diff. So project software. So yeah, we're not accessing projects directly anymore, or we're using the paginator to access it. Used. Let me just get on the screen. Oh, that's it. Wow, we made very little changes. Yeah, we're just not accessing subgroups directly. We're accessing it via the paginator, and we're not accessing projects directly. We're accessing it via the paginator. Makes a lot of sense. Awesome. I'll probably just push up a merge request, and then the awesome thing is I'll do it on the community fork. So if you're Marco want to pick it up before I have capacity to kind of continue with it, you can feel free to do so.
Yeah, but I think I will leave that to Marco because paginators are totally out of my knowledge.
No worries. No, in fairness, yeah, like I don't really know what magic goes on behind the scenes, and I've definitely never seen that multi-collection paginator before, so that's pretty cool. But thanks for jumping on as always, and I'll catch you later on.
Yeah, bye. Have a great day.
You too.